Public service announcement. Just a reminder out there, the Green Bay Packers suck. What's going on? I'm Dan Levy. Welcome to Bears Latest on Fan Art Sports. This is the place where we talk all things Chicago Bears. We're talking trending news, rumors, trades, all the fun stuff as we start to lead you up to training camp with, again, just a couple of weeks away. We see the boys in orange and blue reporting to Hallis Hall. There's so much to get to. This season is going to be amazing. I hope. And we'll get to that. There's a lot of good things on the burner, some concerns, and still some questions out there that we need to get to. But the first is first. What a difference a couple of days makes, huh? Just a few days ago, we were chatting about Jalen Ramsey possibly being a trade option for the Bears. And guess what? Not only did that not come to fruition, but the Steelers went and got him. They traded for him and Jonnu Smith for Minkah Fitzpatrick, which leaves a gaping hole for the Miami Dolphins. In what position? Tight end. And what do the Bears have? A tight end. They got two of them. They have a surplus of them. And for some reason, this is going to be a chat that we're going to have a lot of. And that is Cole Kmet. You guessed it. Just when I thought we could put this guy to bed, we don't have to talk about it anymore. Rumors again are bubbling up that Cole Kmet could be a pretty decent landing spot and into the Miami Dolphins, which would make him a really good weapon along with Tyreek Hill and some good options there for the Miami Dolphins. But to be honest, I'll say this right now. I don't think Cole Kmet is going anywhere. If the Bears were smart, they would not even try to do Cole Kmet. At least give this guy a season. Listen, we all saw what happened last season. The Bears, that was a rough season to watch. We were all excited about Caleb Williams, #1 draft pick, got some good weapons. They had DJ Moore, they had Keenan Allen. They did some really good things, but the problem was the coach was bad, offensive coordinator was horrible, and that entire offensive line is garbage, and they kept getting injured. And Caleb Williams went from the #1 guy in the draft to, oh my God, look at what Jaden Daniels is doing. I wish Caleb was doing that. But the Chicago Bears have been doing some really good things this offseason. They, for once, went with somebody that everybody wanted. That was the thing. They actually went and got a coach, and they went and got a new offense. Here's the thing about Ben Johnson, and I've said it before and we'll say it again. Ben likes to work with two tight ends that they're featuring. That's right. He enjoys running this offense. It's what they did in Detroit. It's what he can do right now when it comes to the Chicago Bears and Cole Kmet. But that's not to say anything can happen. Anything can happen. It's any given Sunday during game time, and anything can happen right now with the Chicago Bears. There's a different look going on right now. But in all honesty, Cole Kmet, he did regress last year. He wasn't as good of a player as he was the year before, but that has not really much to do with him. I'm going to call last season the wash. I'm hoping that right now, this offseason, there's a new theme going on. There's a new sheriff in town and Ben Johnson. There's all kinds of things that are going on. So I would hopefully like to think that we're all going to give everybody a new chance. If you're in a Bears uniform, we got a brand new offense. We got a lot of good weapons, and Cole Kmet can fit into this offense. It sounds like everybody's clicking. Everybody's doing really well, especially in the OTAs and going into it. I'd like to put this to bed. Let's see what Cole Kmet could do. Let's see what this new offense brings out. If it is featuring two really good tight ends, featuring him and Colston Loveland, amazing. If they can figure out a way for that to work, sweet. But if Miami comes calling and they want to give away maybe some draft picks, or they want to kind of finesse something there and the Bears could do it, go for it. But if I'm the Bears, I'm not trading anybody right now. You have $14 million, over $14 million that you could spend on some free agents out there. And there's a couple out there that are still hanging around. I said last episode that Gus Johnson is still a good one, and I know he's older, and I know he's not as good as he used to be, but you know what? Just like Jalen Ramsey, he was a player that everybody was, maybe he's not going to be good. Maybe he's kind of washed up. Maybe he's done. Well, I'd like to think that Mike Tomlin is one of those guys that understands what's going on. He's not trading or getting rid of people that he would need or not want. He's not bringing anybody into that Steelers system that is not going to be worth it for him. I like to think of him as kind of like how Bill Belichick used to be with the Patriots, where you knew if he went and snagged somebody, they still had some talent left. When they got Randy Moss, it was like, oh my God, they got Randy Moss. Same with the Packers. I'm always afraid of whenever the Packers pick up an old bear, they know something we don't. It killed me when they got Julius Peppers, especially that was like the meaning, the ending of whatever could have been a really good Bears defense there with him and Urlacher and those guys there with Julius Peppers was there. But when they got rid of Julius and he went to the Packers, I was like, he's got one last shot. He's got some legs left. Please don't let him go. Anytime the Bears have a player and you see Green Bay Packers calling on the cell phone, Mr. Ryan Poles, please, if this is a lesson for you, do not pick up that phone. If it's the Green Bay Packers, figure out who they want to talk to, figure out who they want to talk about, and then sign that guy to an extension. Because there's no way the Green Bay Packers or the Steelers are calling for somebody that we think is washed up when they want to go ahead and use them. Because those guys tend to find the guys that really know what they're doing. So, in my mind, let's say this. Cole Kmet, please, let's just put this to rest. He's not going to go anywhere. Stranger things can happen, but in my heart of hearts, just a couple of weeks from training camp, they want to see what they could do with this. Cole Kmet is still really good friends with Caleb Williams. They may be working on some pretty good stuff. And if they have two good featured tight ends going on right now, I say why not? You already have what is supposed to be an explosive wide receiver core. Might as well give them two different tight ends to make this work. Moving along, let's go ahead and try to talk this one out. And this would be some real expectations of what's going on with the Chicago Bears. We've already done all the rumors. We've done about what about these trades? What about these guys? Some free agent signings. But let's just say we go into the season dealing with what we are dealing with now. What do the Bears have offensively? Let's break this down a little bit. First and foremost, Ben Johnson. They went and got him. They got the guy. They got the one that's going to be doing everything that everybody says. He's the guy with the best offense. We snagged him from Detroit. But there are some things to think about when it comes to him. First and foremost, he's the guy that's going to lead this offense with all these new weapons that he can play with. New wide receivers, upgraded offensive line. We're talking about even using a quarterback that hasn't been good since the Sid freaking Luckman days. And I would really like to stop using that guy's name when it comes to Bears quarterbacks. I never saw the guy play. My dad never saw that guy play. Nobody has seen that guy play except for really old Bears fans, and I don't want to compare him to that one. Jay Cutler had a really explosive offense that he was poised to be dangerous and explosive with. But even what they got now, they have an offensive line, which is something Jay never had. Jay was a guy who played well with a decent offensive line, but we're talking about a team here that has three wide receivers that are really good, two of which are predicted to go 1,000+ yards. I'm talking Roma Dunze and DJ Moore. And if Luther Burden can be somewhat of where they think he could be, that is another weapon that they would be able to use. So that'll be interesting. But there is one thing about Ben Johnson I want to talk about. And here's Caleb Williams from that Fanatics conference. And he was talking about his relationship with Ben Johnson. Let me know what you think, and we'll break this down.
Ben Johnson's great. And it's not just Ben Johnson. We have a young staff / old staff. We have a bunch of experience, a bunch of new energy, provided from the coaches and players and things like that. So, I think it's been awesome. Ben Johnson, he uses some choice words every day towards me, but he's tough, and I love him. He's awesome. It's been great being around him. We hang out in his office, and we just, we have lunch sometimes and things like that. We just, building this bond and relationship to be able to, last a while.
So if we think about what Caleb really just said there, is that Ben Johnson is not holding his tongue. He's telling the truth. He's almost drill sergeant is what a lot of people have been saying about him coming from training camp, that he is a guy who is screaming and yelling and going over things over and over again. Right now, Caleb, it's all fun and games. It's great. I got a coach. He's yelling at me some choice words, but we got a good bond going. Let's see what happens during the season. Let's see what happens game 1, game 2, and game 3 if things aren't clicking. The games that you're missing routes. The games that you're overthrowing things. The games that you're getting confused on this new offense. Then let's see how much you're going to like a coach getting all up in your grill. Remember, this is professional sports. This isn't how it used to be. This isn't college where your head coach makes more money than the players or has more pull than the players themselves. This is professional, where all the athletes, for the most part, especially your stars, are making way more than anything a coach is making. On top of that, you're a star quarterback. You're number one. You're a guy who is flamboyant. You're a guy who obviously has been a little sensitive lately. He's definitely heard the media, and all of a sudden all these comments are coming out about what he thought about the last coach, how he wasn't really treated. He didn't have a guy in there breaking down film for him. What are you going to do now when there's a guy who's even more up in your grill? Remember, everybody hates coaches or bosses. We've all had bosses where they don't really come around. You don't see them very often. You're like, man, I wish that boss would hang out. And then all of a sudden you get a micromanaging boss and you're, man, I really wish the days of not having a boss that was up in my grill was back. So you got the difference. You had a coach like Matt Eberflus who was kind of letting you feel the game out, kind of break down yourself. He claims, Caleb, that you had a coach in there breaking stuff down. Whether you did or not, I don't know. But you sure as hell are going to have somebody with Ben Johnson and someone on his coaching staff. So Caleb Williams, the onus is now on you. All the pressure is going to come down to you. Ben Johnson can only teach you so much. Now is where we see whether or not you have what people refer to as generational talent. Do you have the generational talent that everybody says you're going to do? Or do you have what everybody says is going to be somebody that is going to make people happy with you? Are you going to be a player who, when everything goes wrong, you're going to be held accountable? Are you going to be the player that could do the cool scrambling things? Can you be more than just functional? That's the question I have. Can you be more than functional? I'm tired. Last season when we were watching you and we saw what you did, especially in Detroit, when you decided not to call any timeouts, you decided to run it out on Thanksgiving. And because of that, that was the worst turkey I've ever had, knowing that clock ran out and that game was ruined. And that sealed Matt Eberflus's fate. We all knew he was going to get fired. I'm not sure what happened. He said he didn't want to call anything because he was afraid to rattle you and he didn't want to go against you. Can you be held and can you be professional enough to do what you got to do? At the end of last season, we wanted functional. We wanted to see that you could just run plays. Now, I want to see that you are better than Jaden Daniels. I want to see that there's a reason we drafted you number one. Even though we all heard that you didn't want to be a Bear. We all heard that you and your dad were saying you didn't want to come to Chicago. That's not where quarterbacks can play. They don't treat you well. It's the NFL. You're making a lot of money. You were the number one pick. You're in Chicago. The pressure is deep. Not as deep as it is in New York, where you probably could have gone. But it is deep in Chicago. And we are putting our trust in you to be the player that we've always wanted to have. We've always wanted a good quarterback here. 45 years old, I've never had a good quarterback. I've had some really good defenses. We've had functional quarterbacks. Rex Grossman was good enough to get the Bears to a Super Bowl. And he didn't even do it. He was just functional. Functional. That is what we were looking for quarterbacks before. Jay Cutler, we expected good things, but functional was also what we were expecting out of him. Caleb Williams, you better be functional to a default if you are coming to a game when you're drunk. If you're hungover, then functional is what you should be. But every Sunday that you line up and every Monday game that you are there taking snaps from a center, you better be special. This is the season on you. We are looking straight at you. You have an offensive line that should give you more protection. You should be able to do more things and get sacked. And should the defense collapse around you, I want to see what you can do. I want to see the mobility. I want to see the IQ that everybody says that you had. I want to see the Heisman that everybody was talking about when that was going on. I want to see all that. Now, with that, that is a realistic expectation. I want to see what Caleb Williams really is. The other concern I have is running back, the running back situation. We got Sweat. We got Roschon Johnson. Not really sure what we're looking like for a third and fourth option. Hopefully we don't get there. DeAndre Swift, let's see what you got. Let's see what you can do. You finally have an offense where hopefully you're not just doing that zigzaggy thing all day, where if it works, and it doesn't. Do you have enough in the tank to be what we got? Do you have enough in the tank to be the guy that we were all excited about? Is there anything left in DeAndre Swift before we have to hand the ball over to Roschon Johnson? Because to be honest, if you're going to be a number one running back and you're going to be the other option that Caleb's going to look to, we need to know what you could do. Defense, we got concerns. Are they as good as they should be? Will they match up with the offense as good as they are? We need to see what that defense could be. I want to see a little bit more. And when camp opens up, again, my eyes are going to be on the defense too. Can they be that? And most of all, don't get me wrong, if the Bears are firing on all cylinders and they are doing a good job this season, is the NFC North tougher than it ever was? Don't forget, the Detroit Lions, even though they're missing Ben Johnson, doesn't mean that their team is bad. The Minnesota Vikings, they have a system where Sam Darnold came in out of nowhere and almost became an MVP quarterback. Will they still bring that same energy? And yes, I know every head coach that comes into this league and comes into play for the Bears, especially the Bears. What's the one thing that every Bears coach says? Because they know it's lip service. They know it's what we want to hear, that they're coming back to take the North and they're going to beat the Green Bay Packers. That one I want to hear more of. I want to know that it's more than just that. Ben Johnson said he has experience beating the Packers, but you never did it as a head coach. There's more to it than just, hey, this is a rivalry. We take this seriously. No. We take this damn seriously. At the least, we want to own those Packers. There's no more Aaron Rodgers. Jordan Love dinged up, and they got some holes going on over there. I would love to see the Bears run the table on the Packers for the next couple of years. Not just this season, years. I want to try to erase what Aaron Rodgers said that he owns us. That one still sticks in my craw. When I brush my teeth in the morning, I still hear him saying that because he did. He owned us. Now we got a number one quarterback. Now we got the best head coach that was available. Now we have an offensive line, and now we have weapons that is supposed to be on par for a breakout offensive juggernaut. Will we see it? I don't know, but I'm really hoping that we do, and I'm looking forward to this season, and I'm looking forward to this team. Let me know what you think in the comments. What do you think of the offense? What are your realistic chances and expectations for the Bears this season? What are you really seeing, and what questions do you have? What concerns you? Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe. This has been Bears Latest on Fan Art Sports. I'm Dan Levy. Don't forget to hit me up in the comments, subscribe, share, hit the little bell thing, and be notified every time we cut an episode. We're doing a lot of these. And again, we're breaking down a lot of news and a lot of trade rumors. But again, we got to start giving grades out and start seeing realistically through the real lens. When we go past this little offense, right now it is 0-0. What is this team going to be? I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to watch it with you, and I'm excited to go through this season with you. Again, I'm Dan Levy. It's Bears Latest, Fan Art Sports, and just a quick reminder, the Green Bay Packers suck. Eat that, cheeseheads. Talk to you later.